Welcome to Relaxed Reddit Readings. Today we have 4 Reddit stories for you. Reddit stories that will make you question everything. Story 1. My boyfriend's family wants to take my baby away for 5 weeks. So my boyfriend's family is trying to take my 1-month-old baby to another country without me for 5 weeks every summer, and they're not even asking, they're demanding it. Let me break this down for you because it's absolutely insane. I just had a baby a month ago, and my boyfriend lives here in the US with me, but his entire family is back in the Bahamas. Now his mother and the rest of his family are telling me that once my baby turns 1 year old, I need to send him to the Bahamas for 5 whole weeks every single summer. Not asking me, mind you, telling me this is what's going to happen. I've never even met any of these people except for his mother. The rest of his family? Complete strangers to me. But somehow they think they're entitled to my child for over a month every year. His mother keeps trying to justify this by saying I'll want to send the baby away after a while because that's what she did. She sent my boyfriend to live with his father for months at a time when he was little. But here's the thing, just because she was comfortable shipping her kid off to someone else doesn't mean I have to be okay with it. She keeps insisting that I'll change my mind, that I'll want the break, that it's normal and healthy. But I can't imagine being separated from my baby for 5 weeks, especially not in another country where I can't easily get to him if something happens. What if there's an emergency? What if he gets sick? What if he needs me? The whole thing just feels wrong to me. I don't know these people well enough to trust them with my child for that long. And the fact that they're not even asking, they're just assuming this is going to happen, makes it even worse. It's like they think they have more say in my child's life than I do. My boyfriend seems to think this is all perfectly normal because it's how he was raised, but I wasn't raised that way. In my family, we didn't send babies away for weeks at a time. We kept our kids close, especially when they were that young. I've tried explaining to them that I'm not comfortable with this arrangement, but they just brush off my concerns and tell me I'll understand when the baby gets older. But I don't think I will understand. This is my child, my first baby, and the thought of being separated from him for over a month makes me physically sick. Am I being overprotective here, or is it completely reasonable to not want to send my baby to another country without me for 5 weeks? If you're enjoying these stories, hit that like button and let me know in the comments which story you relate to the most. Story 2. I stripped naked at our vacation rental and the neighbor freaked out. So we're on vacation at this gorgeous private house on the coast for our daughter's first birthday, and I accidentally started World War III with the neighbors because I decided to skinny dip in what I thought was a completely private pool. Here's what happened. We booked this amazing rental property with a huge garden, tons of greenery around the perimeter, and it felt super private even though there were neighbors on both sides. The place came with access to the ocean and a private pool, so naturally my husband and I figured we'd make the most of it. Now, when we go down to the ocean, we always wear swimsuits because you can clearly see that other properties have a view down to the water. But the pool? That felt completely different. It's surrounded by all this greenery, feels totally secluded, so we just started stripping down naked whenever we wanted to use it. We'd been doing this for several days without any issues. The house felt so private and peaceful, and honestly, it was kind of liberating. Then yesterday, the neighbor came over and knocked on our door. Turns out, she could see everything from her upstairs window. Everything. She was polite about it but clearly uncomfortable, asking if we could maybe wear swimsuits when using the pool because her kids could see us from their house. I was mortified. Absolutely mortified. I had no idea anyone could see us, and the last thing I wanted was to make anyone uncomfortable, especially with kids involved. I immediately apologized and promised we'd wear swimsuits from then on. But here's where it gets complicated. My husband thinks I overreacted by apologizing. He says it's our private rental, we're paying good money for it, and we should be able to do whatever we want on the property. He argues that if the neighbors don't want to see naked people, they shouldn't be looking into our yard in the first place. Part of me sees his point, we are paying for a private rental, and technically it is our space for the week. But another part of me feels like being a good neighbor and being considerate of families with children is more important than our right to be naked. The whole situation has me questioning everything. Should I have stood my ground and told the neighbor that what we do on our rental property is our business? Or was I right to apologize and agree to cover up? What would you have done in this situation? Story 3. My coworker ignored my warning and now she's blaming me for her mistake. So my coworker completely dismissed my advice about an important project deadline, messed everything up exactly like I warned her she would, and now she's trying to make it my fault for not reminding her again. This is driving me absolutely crazy. I'm 25 and work pretty closely with this coworker who's generally nice, but she can be really dismissive when she thinks she knows better than everyone else. A couple weeks ago, we were both working on this project that had a pretty strict deadline with a specific requirement that's super easy to overlook if you haven't dealt with it before. But I have dealt with it before, so early on in the project, I mentioned it to her as a friendly heads up. I literally said something like, "Hey, just so you know, this type of project has this particular requirement that people often miss, so make sure you account for that." And she just waved me off like I was being annoying. She said she already knew what she was doing and had everything under control. The way she said it made it pretty clear that she didn't want my input, so I backed off. I mean, she's an adult and a professional. If she says she's got it handled, then she's got it handled, right? Well, fast forward to last week, and guess what happens? She completely missed that requirement. Didn't account for it at all. The project got delayed, our supervisor wasn't happy, and there was this whole scramble to fix everything before the final deadline. It was exactly what I had warned her about. But here's the part that really gets me. After all this chaos, she comes up to me and says I should have reminded her about the requirement closer to the deadline. She actually had the nerve to suggest that I was partially responsible for the mess because I knew she might forget and didn't say anything. I was speechless. I did say something. I said something at the very beginning when it would have been most helpful. But she dismissed me and made it clear she didn't want my advice. Was I supposed to keep nagging her about it even after she told me she had it under control? I don't think it's my job to babysit another adult professional, especially one who explicitly told me they knew what they were doing. But now I'm second-guessing myself. Maybe I should have brought it up again closer to the deadline, just to be safe. Maybe I was being petty by not mentioning it again after she brushed me off. Was I wrong to not remind her again, or is she just trying to shift blame for her own mistake? Story 4. I called my sister ugly and now I feel terrible about it. So I just called my sister ugly during a fight and honestly, it's breaking my heart that I even said those words, but she's been driving me absolutely insane with how she's been treating her boyfriend. Let me give you some context here. My sister has been constantly talking trash about her boyfriend to me. Like, constantly. Every conversation we have somehow turns into her complaining about how he's not good enough for her, how she's out of his league, how she needs to find someone better. But here's the thing, this guy is actually really sweet. He's been nothing but honest and kind to her, and from what I can see, he genuinely cares about her. It really pisses me off that she acts like she's sitting on some kind of throne looking down at him when honestly, they're pretty much on the same level. Her friends aren't helping either, they're definitely influencing her and feeding into this whole, "you deserve better" narrative. But what really pushed me over the edge was when she started talking about how ugly he is. She was going on and on about his appearance, being really cruel about it, and I just snapped. I looked at her and said something like, "You know what? You're calling him ugly, but you're not exactly a supermodel yourself." The moment those words came out of my mouth, I regretted them. I could see the hurt in her eyes, and it just crushed me. I love my sister, I really do, but I've been listening to her trash this poor guy for months and I couldn't take it anymore. The worst part is that I don't even think she's ugly. I was just so frustrated and angry that I wanted to hurt her the same way she's been hurting her boyfriend with her constant criticism. But now I feel like such a terrible person. Yes, she's been awful about her boyfriend's appearance and treating him badly, but that doesn't give me the right to attack her looks. Two wrongs definitely don't make a right, and I should have found a better way to handle this situation. I could have told her that her attitude was ugly instead of attacking her physical appearance. I could have said that constantly putting down someone you're supposed to care about makes you unattractive as a person. There were so many better ways to make my point without stooping to her level. Now there's this tension between us and I don't know how to fix it. Part of me wants to apologize, but another part of me is still angry about how she's been treating her boyfriend. Should I have kept my mouth shut and let her continue being cruel to someone who doesn't deserve it, or was I right to call her out even if I did it in the worst possible way? If you enjoyed these stories, drop a comment telling me which one was your favorite. And if you want more relaxed Reddit readings, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed these stories, like, comment and subscribe for more relaxed Reddit readings.